What is up, everybody? Welcome. UFC 296, Edwards vs. Covington. Super preview show. We are here live. It is Wednesday. We are 1, 2, 3 nights, 3 sleeps away from the main event in Las Vegas, Nevada. We are back in Las Vegas. It's starting to amp up. It's starting to get there. Starting to get the feeling. Starting to feel excited. Starting to get those jitters I get for the pay-per-view. It's here. It's happening. So I'm ready.
Dude, this is one of those pay-per-views where not only do we get a great card on Saturday night, but we get pure entertainment all week long. And I feel like this week is unlike any card we've had in a long time because there are a lot of different types of personalities on this card. We've got Colby's crazy ass. We've got Leon just kind of chill, calm, and composed. We've got Bryce Thug Nasty Mitchell's redneck ass up there, just being funny as hell. We've got Ian Gary and his whole dilemma. We've got Paddy Pimblett with the whole fan base turning on him. We've got Tony Ferguson being crazy as always. I probably left some people out, and that's not even all of the good fights. Those are just the crazy personalities. But I've been more excited this fight week than I've been in a long time. I can't lie. After watching the individual press conferences today, they got me even more fired up than I already was. And I'm also ready to make some money.
Yes, sir. We have a lot of that in store for you today. We're going to go through the whole main card as also some fights on the prelims that we like or that are interesting. We're going to kick it off in the light heavyweight division with Alonzo Menifield versus Dustin Jacoby. Dustin Jacoby coming off a big knockout win versus Kennedy Nzechukwu. That's how you say it, correct? I don't know.
Something like that.
Alonzo Menifield, 3-fight win streak, coming off a submission win over Jimmy Crute. Big fight here in the light heavyweight division. I've been a big Jacoby guy in the past. So that win, his last win, didn't surprise me. I like him to make some noise in this light heavyweight division. I actually like the winner of this to make some noise in the light heavyweight division. Big fight here. I personally, Alonzo Menifield's plus 225, Dustin Jacoby's minus 275. That's a big number for Dustin Jacoby. I personally think Menifield's just better right now. I think his 3-fight win streak, 2 fights against Jimmy Crute, the one no decision, and then the submission win, 3-fight win streak. But I just think if I look at these two guys, I don't think Menifield's more well-rounded, but I think it could end in round 1, just like Dustin Jacoby's last fight. So I'm going to kick it off the card here with an underdog, and I'm going to go Alonzo Menifield to win this fight. What say you?
Hello. I'm sticking with the chalk on this one. Vegas has been all over it lately, and I personally like Dustin Jacoby in this matchup. I think he's a lot more fluid on the feet, more technical. Menifield definitely has the power advantage, but I believe that as long as Jacoby can survive the first couple initial onslaughts, he should be able to dance around, do his thing, maybe win a decision or a late knockout. So I'm sticking with the favorite here. Started off early.
I agree. I don't agree actually, but I agree with all the points
The logic.
that you made. Yeah, I'm here for
I
it.
got you.
I'm taking a coin toss. I think both these guys, they're gonna stand in the pocket and throw. I think Dustin Jacoby easily could have lost the last fight, is the way the exchange was going. So I'll take Menifield to win that exchange. So take my chances early. Try to get a little up on the day. See where the day takes us. Our next fight, we're gonna break down Cody Garbrandt versus Brian Keller at the bantamweight division. Cody Garbrandt coming in at minus 200. Brian Keller versus plus 170. What you got here, and who do you like?
Dude, I mean, also shout out Joe, the guy that won the UFC matchmaking sweepstakes. This is his first fight that he made as a matchmaker. You remember that thing?
Fight? They're still gonna pick any fights, or it has to be like people they give them?
I'm not really sure how it works. I think they have divisions. Each matchmaker has a division that they kind of oversee, and then They make the fights in that one, and then there's a guy that'll do the next weight class and the next one. So yeah, he went in there, talked to Cody right after getting hired, talked to Kelleher, made this thing happen after Cody had been looking for fights for a while. So shout out Joe. It's pretty sweet that the UFC hired somebody full time to be a matchmaker just based off the sweepstakes too. It's another reason we love this company and the sport of MMA so much, especially Dana White. Dude's just different, does things outside the box. No way that any other multi-billion-dollar corporation president would do it. Anyway, let's get back to the fights. Cody Garbrandt versus Brian Kelleher. I honestly like Cody here. I don't think he's going to make a run back to the belt or anything like that, but I do think that he's getting back on the right track. I think that whole alpha male gym kind of is starting to get their feet under him again, start to catch up with the new wave of MMA, I guess you could say. So I'm going to be boring again, go with the minus 220 favorite in Cody Garbrandt. What do you got for us?
Yeah, kind of all the same reasons you said. I think Garbrandt kind of got gifted a good matchup here. He's younger, coming off a big win. Brian Kelleher doesn't really finish anybody or hasn't been finished, so it's kind of going to go to decision. I got to bet on this fight later on, but yeah, I just think it's probably the first time, not in a while, but in recent memory, that I think Coach is better in this fight. Bottom. I don't see a way that Kelleher wins. So yeah, I'll take Cody here. No love.
Cody, no love. That's another big personality I don't even think I mentioned when I was doing my little rant at the beginning. But man, this card is so loaded. They better do the press conference with all of these guys that we're talking about up on the table. I don't want to see any of that main event, co-main, third fight bullshit. I want the big table, Conor McGregor style for this one right here.
Yeah. The 2-story.
Okay, let's go 3.
I remember when they used to do like the summer kickoff shows where they would have like everyone that's fighting. Like that was tough.
Did you see that before the press conference tomorrow? They're doing one with Suga and Cheeto, Volkan Topuria, and Strickland and Dricus all together on the same thing.
Oh, wow.
So that'll be good too, I think.
Yeah. Oh, Suga's in Vegas this weekend?
Mm-hmm. Another reason we should have been there.
I know. I know. Well, another one of your guys here. Bryce Mitchell taking on Josh Emmett. Featherweight matchup here. Bryce Mitchell is minus 225 versus Josh Emmett, who recently just got off a title opportunity. Bryce Mitchell kind of was really on his way up, I feel like. And obviously the loss to Topuria, but I mean, he got a win since then. So I think we kind of magnified that loss because it kind of was like he wasn't at the level we thought he was, but I think he's still here. He's had a lot of outside the cage issues, pun intended. But yeah, what do you think here? Do you think he can get back on track and you think he can start a run again?
So I can't lie to you. I love Bryce. Everyone knows that I'm a big Bryce Mitchell guy. But when I saw this line at first, I was kind of confused. I thought Josh Emmett would be the favorite, especially because he's been in the full camp. Bryce Mitchell taking it short notice. And just, I don't know, man, Bryce, ever since that Ilya fight, my bubble is still burst a little bit. I can't lie.
I think looking back at it now, I think we have to look at it as Ilya's a
top 10 pound for pound guy.
Ilya's a guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's more so of what Ilya is than what Bryce wasn't. But yeah, I take less. So I think more of Mitchell actually now. At first I was like, all right, Mitchell's just not the guy. But looking back at it now, it's like Ilya is just the fucking guy.
He is. And Mitchell does say he was really sick on that weekend, which it's hard to know if that's an excuse or not. But if you're hella sick, obviously you're not going to perform at your 100% capabilities. With all that being said, I also think stylistically this matchup favors Josh Emmett a little bit just because he's really durable. He's been proven very hard to submit throughout his career. And if Bryce Mitchell wins, it's most likely going to be either by submission or him just staying on top of Emmett in the grappling department. I think Emmett's better on the feet. He has more power. And fuck, dude, I'm gonna pick against my guy Bryce on the air. I'm so sorry, Bryce Mitchell, but
I'm gonna ride with Bryce.
This is my first. I'm not going to be rooting for my pick here, but I'm just giving y'all my honest picks because I would hate to say something that I don't really mean and somebody bets on it and then they lose and get mad at me for
Are
it.
you gonna bet on Josh?
Probably not, unless I'm really desperate. That's a stay. I hate betting against my favorite fighters because it kills the purity of the sport for me. You know, obviously we're big gambling guys, but we're also just huge fans at the end of the day, and I don't want to kill my fandom just to deepen my pocket.
Suga is the only like person or team where I've bet on with my heart, and it's paid off every fucking time. It's insane.
It's been with my head. My heart convinces my head with Suga. He's never getting beat, in my opinion. If him and Volk were to fight right now, I would probably convince myself to bet Suga. It's kind of like with the Giants.
He just always seems a way to cash us out.
Bro, that's impressive because I bet with my heart twice a week during football season with USC and the Giants, no matter what. I'm really bad about being a heart better, but I'm getting better right here. I'm not betting on Bryce, but when I get a couple beers in me, I just might say Arkansas. He ain't losing with them camo shorts on.
I think Bryce gets it done here. I think he wins by decision.
I hope you are right, my friend. I truly hope so.
Let's get into our main card. We have Vicente Luque versus Ian Machado Gary. Ian Gary 13-0. Vicente Luque, a staple in the welterweight division. Ian Gary's minus 395. Big favorite here. Vicente Luque plus 290. A lot of, like we talked about the past few weeks, a lot of stuff going on with Ian Gary. You could argue or you could ask the question, where is his head at? I think that's the big one here. And I kind of interested to see how he responds. Does it affect him? Does he come out, blame it on that? Or does he just say, fuck it, I got to roll with the punches. I take the adversity. I'm just going to knock this dude out. I think that'll go a lot. This will show a lot of how he is the person and how he responds to this. So I'm excited to see this.
See what it's like. Yeah, because throughout this whole time, Ian Gary's been getting more hate than any other fighter on the roster for the last couple of weeks, maybe the last month. But not once have I seen anybody say or comment any negative things about his fighting ability. I think besides maybe Leon when he said he got KO'd at the gym, or one of Leon's friends said that or whatever. But Ian Gary is a legit prospect in that welterweight division. No one has denied that. And I fully expect Gary to take care of business this weekend. Like you touched on, the only thing is, where is his head at? That's going to be the real thing. And if he goes out there, looks ice cold, doesn't let it phase him, takes care of business, it's going to be a really big show. It's going to be a big tell, like you said, to if he's a real guy or if he's just another guy. What do you think of him skipping on media day today? Is there any relevance to all the hate that's been going on? Do you kind of think he's dodging the smoke there?
See, and that's kind of it too. Like, so that kind of tells you how, like, is he not?
Like, it is changing something.
Yeah. So it's definitely on his head. It's definitely something that bothers him, which it should. I think it would bother any human being. He could look at it as like, why they're just gonna ask the same thing over and over. Or maybe it really is affecting him. I don't know. Be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. I've heard both, like we talked about earlier off the air. I've heard he was going, I've heard he wasn't going. It'll be interesting to see. Or he could just be like, you know what, fuck the media, I'm just gonna go fight. Because it wasn't like, I think this situation, it wasn't like he started saying shit and then now he's not answering it. He never said anything. It was all rumors brought on to him. So it's not like he stirred the pot and then now he's not answering the questions. It was never him in the first place. So in that perspective, it's kind of unfair to him to say, oh, you have to come and answer. Like, he didn't start any of that. And it's so like when we say like he's ducking, like what is he ducking? Because he's ducking those questions, but he just woke up one day and this happened. It wasn't like he said some shit or started some shit. It literally just happened. So that, I mean, in to have his side a little bit, that could also be a factor.
Yeah, I think it was literally he was talking some shit to MMA Guru about something completely unrelated. And then Guru went digging in the depths and went and found all this and posted it one morning, and it broke the MMA world.
Yeah.
So that's about where we're at right now with that. I do think it is a little odd though, because in every other Ian Gary fight, he has taken full advantage of the press conferences, all the media days. It seems like he always has outfits planned out. He has
It's because he always has the leverage.
That's true. That is very true. He might say, "This is a battle I don't want to fight right now. I just want to go fight my battle in the octagon."
Yeah. So as far as who wins the fight, I still like Ian Gary here. I think he's just better. I think he's sharper. Maybe he chases it early, finish the end, but I think we need to look at like Luque is really good. So I don't think we need to judge if Ian Gary doesn't get it done in convincing fashion that it bothered him, it was on his head. Like, no, Vicente Luque is really good. So I think any win here for Gary is a good win and a big win.
Yeah, and I mean, we've got to talk about Luque a little bit. I don't even think I've said his name yet, but he just beat he went skill for skill with RDA, who is one of the most skilled fighters of all time. Sure, RDA is a little bit past his prime, but Luque looked amazing in that fight. So it's not like, he's not a slouch.
It's a tough one. That line's weird. I don't know. I don't think Luque wins, but I don't like that line. I don't like that line at all.
Just a little food for thought out there for anyone that really hates Ian Gary, huh?
Yeah. But yeah, I got Ian Gary here, probably a late finish, round 2, round 3.
Yeah, I think he does get the finish also. I think as long as he doesn't just totally get outside of his game plan.
Way he can respond and come out and pissed off, right?
That's what I'm saying, dude. As long as he doesn't come out like too pissed off and just throw all his technique out the window like you see in basketball. But I feel like there's a lot more room to be pissed off in fighting than there is in any other sport, as long as you have some of that composure and technique still. And Gary's always been a super technical guy, so I don't think he's just going to throw that completely out the window. Man, what a card, bro. This is the opener for the main card, and this has been getting more buzz than I would say most pay-per-view co-mains or even headliners, honestly, just in terms of in the media throughout the week. Maybe not about the fight itself, but about one of the fighters.
Yeah. Big one. Super excited for that one. Super excited, obviously, for the fight in general, but we talk about this time all the time with the sport stuff that goes on outside. So definitely interested to see how he responds to that one. Our next fight in the lightweight division, we got a banger. This is an underrated banger. Just the two guys. We got Tony Ferguson versus Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. Tony Ferguson plus 255. Paddy Pimblett minus 320. The newly refound Tony Goggins Ferguson. Yeah, interesting here. Do you take anything with the Goggins shit or no?
So I'm going to quote Paddy on this. I was watching Paddy's presser right before we hopped on here, actually. And he said, 2 things that Tony Ferguson has never struggled with in his career has been his cardio and his mental fortitude. Like all the crazy submissions that he didn't tap from and never giving up. Those are the 2 things that haven't really dropped off with Tony. It's been the speed, the skill, the maybe not learning the new techniques. So I think that right there kind of popped the Goggins bubble for me, because Tony was already top tier with his cardio, and he's already mentally tougher than most fighters on the roster. He's a sicko. So no, I don't think Goggins is going to make too much of a difference. What did you have lined up on that one?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it makes a difference.
They all train hard.
Some way, Tony Ferguson always borderline tricks me. And then I realize no, he does this all the time. So it's there's always a time where I'm like, oh shit, Tony's looking different. It's fuck, he does this all the time.
Your voice ran through my head when I was watching his presser. I was thinking that same thing, and I was like, nope,
he's a legit salesman, and I truly believe he says what he believes. He believes what he's saying.
Oh yeah.
Interesting here, because I don't think Paddy's very good.
Not like he was undefeated in strike or in Cage Warriors.
So it'll be interesting. I've kind of been off Paddy since the Jared Gordon fight, where I still remember our play of the day was over 1.5, and we cashed out huge money. The But yeah, I mean, I think Patty's got to come with a better response too. But as far as like where you evaluate their talents, I don't know how they match up talent wise. It's weird. It's a weird matchup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because obviously Tony Ferguson is a much more talented fighter than Paddy the Baddy. If you weren't looking at age in this one and you look at Tony when he was on his rise compared to Paddy on his rise currently, Tony mops the floor with him. But Tony's almost 40 and he is on a massive losing streak. So that brings him down. That's the question. Does it bring him down far enough to where Paddy is as a fighter, skill wise? And I think it does. I think Paddy Pimblett goes out there and gets the decision victory, especially because I do think he did hurt his ankle in that Jared Gordon fight. I don't think he was just obviously hurt it because he had to get surgery and he's been out for the last year. And he still did have it wasn't really even close, honestly. Jared Gordon definitely won that fight, but he made it the distance on a damn near broken ankle. So I don't think we saw the full Paddy Pimblett that night. So I believe Paddy goes out there and wins by decision because Tony is very tough. He has that Goggins mentality and that Goggins cardio right now. So I don't think he gets put out of there. But give me Paddy by decision.
Yeah, I think I like Paddy here too. I don't think either guy can finish either one. I don't think Ferguson has enough in the tank and enough skill right now to finish Paddy. And I don't think Paddy just has enough. Same thing. Like I don't think Paddy has it in him to finish Tony. I think Tony's too crazy. Tony still has a mental edge over him, I think, and Tony's just not going to quit, especially to Paddy Pimblett. So I think Paddy could beat him up for 3 rounds, but I don't think he can finish him. And I don't think Tony's going to quit. So yeah, I like Paddy here.
Yeah, literally just summarized what I said, but a lot cleaner right there. Shit, man. And now we move to a scary fight.
It's all you, brother. Take it away.
I'm going to sound like a broken record if y'all watched the show earlier this week, but I am so excited to see Stephen Thompson take on Shavkat Rakhmonov. Obviously, Wonder Boy, last time he was supposed to fight, his opponent, Michel Pereira, did not make weight, and Thompson said, I don't want to fight a guy that's 4 pounds heavier than me. So he got bumped back to this card. And what a crazy change of opponents. You go from fighting Michel Pereira to Shavkat Rakhmonov. I'd almost rather fight Pereira at 174 pounds than fight a Shavkat on a full camp. And God, man, what are your thoughts on this one?
I don't know. I kind of wish he would have took the original fight. But yeah, I just think it's a bad matchup all around. Shavkat's just on another level. I think Steven's striking can maybe keep him in it for the round and see round 2. But I think Shavkat's just going to wear on him over time. I don't think there's not much that Wonder Boy can do.
If Wonder Boy was younger, give me Wonder Boy all day. We saw how he looked against Jeff Neal compared to how Shavkat looked against Jeff Neal. But I just think Wonder Boy doesn't have the durability at this point in his career to step in the cage with a Shavkat and not get beaten. Because even in that Kevin Holland fight, yes, everyone remembers Wonder Boy just piecing him up and landing those crazy combos and head kicks, but people forget that it was very even on the feet up until Kevin Holland broke his hand. Holland was landing a lot too. He broke that right hand from hitting Wonder Boy in the head with it. So Wonder Boy's striking might not even be as like above everyone else's as we think right now, and I don't think Shavkat's gonna break his hand or at least let that deter him because he just seems like a psycho.
Yeah.
So I'm all over Shavkat in this one. This is like Bryce Mitchell, dude. I don't even want to bet it because Thompson's another one of my top 5 favorite fighters, but I just don't see a path to victory for him here.
Yeah, if you don't see a path, brother, I definitely don't see a path. So if there was a path somehow, some way, you would have found it. So I don't think there's a path.
Yeah, I mean, piecing him up, striking, head kick, knockout sounds nice, but easier said than done. And Shavkat is huge as well. He is a very, very big motherfucker. It's going to be hard to get that head kick up there.
Yeah, I agree.
You like Shavkat inside the distance by decision if you had to choose?
I mean, you'd have to probably say inside, but I don't know. I'm not convinced he finishes him.
Yeah, it hurts to just say it too. Like Thompson has fought a lot better opponents throughout the case of his career. Thompson will be the best guy that Shavkat stepped in there with, no doubt about it. But Shavkat's not the best guy Thompson stepped in there with. We just don't know how good this version of Thompson is. And he's been in camp since April. He said that he took some time off to let his body recover. But, I mean, that's a long time for a 40-year-old man to be in training camp going hard on his body. And he had everything lined up for that previous date. How long ago was that? Like 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, had everything lined up for that. Had to call an audible, do it all again, another weight cut. All the signs are pointing towards Rachmanov in this one.
Yeah. I agree. Sorry, brother.
You good? It's a brutal game we play.
Yes, it is. We get to our co-main event of the evening, Alexandre Many Men Pantoja versus Brandon Royval, the second meeting here. Alexandre Pantoja's first fight since we've seen him live in person win the belt at International Fight Week over Brandon Moreno. Pantoja just keeps fighting guys he's already fought. So we talked about earlier in the week. From my perspective, is I don't really see much difference here. Mm-hmm. I think Pantoja's just better at this point, and as he was when they first fought 2 years ago. I think Pantoja's last 3 fights have been on another level. Obviously with Royval, then submitting Alex Perez, and then the win over Brandon Moreno. He looked really good, really convincing. I don't think Brandon Royval is really ready for this moment. He's been in those big fights. He's fought Moreno, fought Pantoja, and they both finished him. So I still think I like him eventually in this division, but he's still young, 31 years old. He has about 2-3 years.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm all over Pantoja here in this spot.
I'm gonna take it one step farther and say Pantoja inside the distance. You could go Pantoja by submission for plus 150. So Vegas doesn't think it's that crazy either. And that's what I'm going to be betting on this one. Pantoja by submission has it at plus 150 on my book. So, yeah, I just think it's going to go pretty similar. I think, and I forget who said it, but it's one of the most legendary fighters. I should remember his name, but he said you get like 30% better once you have the belt, just from the confidence you have and the way you carry yourself, at least for that first part of it before, it can get to your head. But they said, and we saw it with Leon against Usman, kind of similar thing. Islam, He's always been fucking crazy. But even Volk, when he beat Max, just took it up another notch. So I kind of think Pantoja is going to get some of that effect. And he's training at American Top Team, has the best guys in the world in there with him. So I'm all over our guy here. Many, 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 many.
I agree. I'm glad to see him back. Electric performance he had there. I think like we talk about, when you see someone live, it just feels different. Mm-hmm. Seeing him live, seeing him win the fight it was a big one. So I'm glad.
He definitely got the bench from that walkout song too.
Yeah, definitely. Now it is time. The main event of the evening. Leon Rocky Edwards versus Colby Chaos Covington for the undisputed welterweight title. Leon Edwards is now up to a minus 170 favorite. He was minus 150 earlier in the day at about noon.
Damn.
Plus 140. The line's starting to shift to Leon here. I'm big on Leon at this spot, as we talked about. I'm all over Leon here. I already got him in earlier at minus 150. So, are you moving with Vegas here? You're all over Leon?
Yep, I can't change from what I said yesterday. Colby sold me a little bit in his presser, as he does. He had me.
So I got something to say about that. So Tony Ferguson, Ian Gary, Sugar Sean, Conor McGregor, Izzy, when they say things at press conferences, it sounds natural and it sounds like it doesn't sound staged, because I truly think they believe it. Mm-hmm. And I think that Kobe believes everything he says. Like, he truly thinks he's gonna win. I have no doubt about that. But I just feel like when he says it, it feels so staged.
It's like the Chael, but he's just not as clean as Chael was with the delivery.
It's not, and it's always something. Like, literally says one thing, next question says something else. Like, it's just so, like, it's like he has it in his head before the press conference even gets there. Like, he sits down, all right, I gotta get this off, and then just says it no matter what. So yeah, he didn't convince me because I don't know.
Well, he has to spend hours thinking of his jokes and his one-liners, or he pays a comedian. I'm not even joking, because some of the stuff he says is so clever. Like, he called Shavkat shit rat on the press conference. I'm like, he says so many little funny one-liners that just have me dying. It was a free comedy show in his press conference, and he also had me fired up. The way he brings Trump into it. Who knows if he's even like that huge of a Trump guy? I think he just knows that it makes people either hate him or love him. Just like same thing as Trump. So I think he just kind of goes into it for that reason even more. But
Definitely.
yeah, I got Leon here. I do think Colby's a great fighter. He has one of the best work ethics in the UFC, one of the most disciplined fighters, one of the best cardio, but I just think Leon's too much for him at this point. I think Leon's style is perfectly crafted to beat a guy like Colby as well. Just a sniper, defending takedowns, circling around, maybe making Colby frustrated, make him make a mistake, catch him with one of those head kicks. So give me Leon here. I'm all over Rocky, and I wish I wasn't. I want Colby to win. Just to be fair, I think Colby's hilarious. He's a fighter I like more on the roster than others. I won't say he's one of my favorites, but I definitely like the guy.
Yeah, same for you. I think a younger Colby, yes, but I don't think the last 2 years he's not at that level that he was, and I think Leon's in his prime right now. I think Leon's on another level. Yeah. I think Leon goes on a big run here, so yeah, I'm all over Leon here. It's time. Let's get the bets up. Let's win some money here.
Alrighty then, let's get this shit. If I can find it.
Here we go. We are starting it off with Cody Garbrandt and Brian Keller. I'm going to go over 2.5 here, minus 110. I just don't. I think Cody wins. We've said that. So, again, you look at who do you think is going to win and how do they win, and I think Cody is a decision fighter now. He goes the distance. He picks them apart. He doesn't put himself in danger. So, give me over 2.5 there. Our next fight here, I'm going to go Lucas Almeida plus 145 versus Andre Fili. The reason I like this here is they're similar age. Lucas Almeida 1 year younger. He is coming off a loss to Pat Sabatini, but he's won 3 out of his last 5. He has a big win over Ian Trinidad. And then Andre Fili, this is more about Andre Fili. I don't like the value here.
Let's hear it.
He has. He's coming off 4 losses in his last 5.
Ooh.
And his 1 win was a split decision.
Ooh.
So yeah, this is more about fading Andre Fili here. So I'm gonna take my chances here with Lucas Almeida, and hopefully he gets it done. Then next underdog we're gonna go is Alonzo Menifield. Same thing we said earlier. I think that if Alonzo Menifield pushes the pace and they stand in the pocket and throw, which Dustin Jacoby has shown to do in his last fight, that's what happened. He came out with the win, and I think when you get in that, it's any man's fight at that point. So Alonzo Menifield's been in more of those than Jacoby, so I'll take my chances here, and I'll take Menifield plus 220 there. Then we're gonna lay some juice these next 3. We're gonna go Mitchell and Emmett over 2.5. I just don't think either fighter finishes either one, and I think it's just a 30-29, 30-28 type fight for Mitchell here. And then Gary and Luque. Ian Gary has been known to finish guys in the second. I think Luque can survive the first for sure, and then we just rely on that next 2.5 minutes. I like our odds there. I kind of like Ian Gary here, finish in the late second or early third. Tough fight here, like we said. So I like the over 1.5 here. More so, this is what I think about Luque. I think Luque can take it the distance.
Maybe we get that Jalen Turner, Bobby Green ref on there just to add some assurance.
Exactly. A big fight on here on this one is Patty and Tony over 1.5. Lay the juice, lay whatever. Minus 220. I'll bet this all the way to minus 250 probably, but I just don't think there's no way in hell that this fight ends before the third round. Just the way these two guys fight and who they are. So yeah, that over 1.5. Nothing else to say for that one. Then with that being over 1.5, we're gonna take a stab at Patty by decision at plus 190. I think if it goes the distance, Patty probably wins. And the UFC has been known to give him a decision or two, so we'll go with Patty there by decision plus 190. Our favorite play of the day here is Leon Edwards. Like I said earlier, minus 155. If you're gonna get it in, get it now. It's already up to minus 170. It's not dropping in it. It's not dropping lower or anything than that. If you're gonna bet a favorite, bet it early in the week. If you're gonna bet an underdog, bet it later in the week. So let's go Leon Edwards minus 155. I'd bet that all the way to probably about 170, 180 possibly. And then we're just going to take Pantoja here and Steele, back-to-back and Steels. Just think he's sharper, think he's better at this stage in his career. So I don't see the belt changing hands this early. So let's go Pantoja here. I'd probably bet that all the way to 2. Our parlay, we're going to parlay the champs, Leon Edwards and Pantoja. And we're going to parlay the 2 overs that I like, Patty and Tony over 1.5, and Ian Gary and Lukey over 1.5. That's plus 455. Some juice there for you, so bet responsibly and good luck.
Bro, I'm a really big fan of all of those besides the Manafield, obviously, because I picked Jacoby. But I think those are some smart money bets. If you had one that, we'll throw it back a little bit. I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but do you have one that's a play of the day? Just out of all of those, one that you feel the best about? Those overs really sell.
Leon Edwards. It's rare we have the main fight as the play of the day, but I think Leon Edwards. I just don't think there's a way he loses.
All right, then. Y'all heard it here. Thank you for tuning in to this preview show. This was a fun one, bro. There was like a lot of things to talk about inside and outside the cage. Please make sure to tune into the press conference tomorrow too, because that is going to be obviously not as entertaining as the fights, but it is going to be very, very, very entertaining. And as always, Jalen, appreciate you cooking up the bets on here. As always, I think you're going to make a lot of people some money as long as they tune in.
I'll bet myself some money too.
Hell yeah. Until next week, doses. And I forgot where the little ending video is, so I'm going to just end this thing.